I've watched running a real estate business lead to death, suicide, divorce, addiction, bankruptcy, and a lot of dark paths. And if you're new to this channel, I've spent the last almost decade of my life building HelloPad and also helping hundreds of agents, investors, developers, flippers around the country build their dream real estate business. And a lot of times it doesn't end very pretty. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what I think is the number one thing every single real estate entrepreneur should focus on if they want to prevent going down one of these darker paths. I'm going to start this video with a story. When I was about 20 years old, so about 7 years ago, I went to a higher ticket real estate event in Scottsdale, and I paid about $5,000, which at the time was a significant amount of money. My partner at the time, Paul, and I went to Scottsdale, and we went to this event with about 50 other up-and-coming real estate operators. They all had really good businesses. So they all had some teams, they all had consistent deal flow, they all had consistent money coming in. But one thing stood out. Everyone there was on the hamster wheel. And if you're watching this video, more likely than not, whether you're an agent, an investor, a developer, a flipper, a wholesaler, you feel like you're on a hamster wheel. You feel like you built yourself a prison. And in fact, I think 99% of people who start their own business, especially in real estate, eventually look around and go, what the hell happened? How did I get here? And out of those 50 people, and these are legit operators, you guys, we got to know each other. We kept going to events with each other. We were in accountability groups. We follow each other online. I think 3 or 4 max are still in the real estate industry or self-employed at all. And it wasn't because they weren't making money, but because they were. It's because they burnt out and went down one of these dark paths. And there's one thing in common with all of them that didn't make it. It's not that they couldn't make money. It's not that they couldn't stay focused. It's not that they didn't have the work ethic. It's that they didn't know how to build the right team and do it in a way that didn't maximally increase overhead. And the cycle most of them went through is they started doing deals, they started crushing it, making low to mid 6 figures. Then to scale, you know what they did? They got a big office, ramped up their marketing, hired a bunch of people to fit in that office stateside, locally, killed their margins, kept scaling more, but only killing their margins more, got confused, partnerships split, went back to ground zero, and a lot of them never made it back up. They suffocated. They drowned. So the way you avoid this, you guys, isn't that you avoid hiring. It's not that you avoid trying to scale. It's not that you avoid trying to grow. It's that you realize when you're growing a business, especially a real estate business, what you're really trying to grow is profit. You're not trying to grow revenue. You're not trying to grow employee count. Experienced veteran business owners, they don't see employee count as a flex. They see it as a sign of failure. Your job is to maximize the team that you have and only hire when you absolutely have to. It doesn't mean hiring is the wrong thing. In fact, I think who not how is a great methodology. But overall, you realize that hiring is something you need to do, but you need to do it right. And for most of you guys running real estate business, 90+% of your hires can be overseas or low cost. You don't need an office. Again, if you want to scale the right way, which means you're scaling profit, you're not scaling vanity metrics, you're not scaling your Instagram followers, you're not scaling your revenue screenshot or your bank account deposit slips from deals you can put online. You're scaling profit and what comes into your pocket because you're not building a sellable business. How do we do that? Well, there's 5 hires I need you to make if you want to build this team properly. None of them involve needing an office. None of them involve needing a fancy CRM or AI tools. The 5 people you do need on your team, and only 3 of these are stateside, that is it, 3 or 4. Each level of the 5 can be several people. The first one is admin, and properly onboarding and hiring an admin is so important. If you do not have an assistant, and you are doing deals consistently and making money as an agent, investor, flipper, wholesaler, developer, you are the assistant. That's the reality. You, yourself, you look in the mirror, you are your own assistant. And for $5 to $10 an hour, going on a site like Upwork, hiring someone in South America and Venezuela, Colombia, Mexico, the Philippines, and anywhere really, you can find someone incredibly talented that this is their dream job and they'll work 120 hours per week for you trying to make this work. And they're going to take away all your brain damage work, your bookkeeping, your payroll, your bill pay, your calendar, your Slack, your email, your travel scheduling, and much more. You absolutely need an admin. That's number 1. Number 2 is fulfillment. And there's 2 fulfillment hires you need. Both of them are stateside. One of them is a transaction coordinator, part-time. You can make them overseas. I don't recommend it because they're so cheap. And a lot of the people that I was talking about earlier that failed, they decided to pay a transaction coordinator $100,000 a year. You don't need to pay a transaction coordinator $100,000 per year or $80,000 per year. A lot of you guys don't know that using sites like Upwork or Indeed, you can find a retired real estate agent, title and escrow rep, or mortgage officer who you can pay a couple $100, $300, $400, $500 per escrow to take care of signings, communication, sellers, tenants, all the brain damage that comes with making sure a property gets to closing, pen goes to paper, money transfers to your account. The second fulfillment hire is a boots on the ground hire. And a boots on the ground hire is someone who, in my opinion, is so important, and you need 2 of them or 3 of them in every single county you operate. You can find them by literally making dials on Zillow to agents that probably aren't very busy. 76% of agents didn't do a single transaction last year. And you offer them a $75 or $100 per property visit for a lockbox, for photos, for a PSA, or to walk a buyer through if you're wholesaling. That's fulfillment. Now, 1 out of those 3 needs to be stateside, boots on the ground. Even your TC can be overseas. I do recommend it stateside because it's not expensive. It's a couple $100 per escrow, but it absolutely can be stateside, overseas if you want to force that issue. Now, after fulfillment, you have marketing. And I recommend you guys outsource your marketing in this business. Why? Because your best return on money and time comes from talking to as many sellers as possible. That is just the cold, hard truth. And yes, you could get your cold calling lead cost from $70 to $40 by doing it all yourself, or you could get your mail costs down and your pay-per-click costs down, but you're going to save a couple grand a month rather than increasing your business by 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month or more by spending that time on chasing down more deals. I recommend you outsource your marketing. And I recommend if you're watching this video, you have a mixture of outbound marketing to get reps, to get at bats, and to grow something like cold calling and doing it the right way, or hiring a good company. And then you add on targeted direct mail and pay-per-click. And I've made other videos going deep into those. So subscribe to the channel and go watch those if you haven't yet. And again, the marketing piece, you guys, that doesn't need to be your team stateside in your office. That can be delegated to a company. Even if you hire it, it can be overseas. So we're still at only 1 mandatory stateside hire. Then you have sales. In the sales department, you have acquisitions, right? An acquisitions manager is a really important hire. I recommend they be stateside, 20, 25% per deal. But one of our best guys ever, Theo, was in Venezuela. He was at 10% per deal, and he still crushed him. Some months put 3, 4, 5 deals on the board. So you can absolutely get away with an overseas hire here. You just have to really track their performance and make sure they're dialed in. But you're going to pay between 10 and 25% per deal in a small base. It's going to be your most expensive hire, but it's the most important. One rock star acquisition person, whether you're an agent, investor, flipper, developer, wholesaler, will change your life forever and make you addicted to building a team. Then you have dispositions. And if you're wholesaling, that's only really the time you need this role. You'll pay 5 to 7.5% in a small base. You can get away with this hire overseas or stateside. It's up to you. But we're still only at 1 mandatory stateside hire, which is your boots on the ground. So no matter what your budget is, you don't have to have a ton of stateside hires in a big office and the things that kill people off like I started this video with. Last but not least, you guys, you have the lead manager. This person owns your pipeline. They revive opportunities. They make sure nothing slips through the cracks, gets lost in the mix, and they constantly hand off opportunities to your acquisition manager and managers. I only recommend having them overseas. They do not need to be stateside. You can pay them $1,500 to $2,500 per month and a small commission, so virtually no cost there. The last one is leadership. And oftentimes you hear gurus talk about this as your integrator. Now, surprisingly enough, you can find great integrators overseas. My COO does not live in America currently. Currently, he lives in Dubai. That is very rare. Typically, I've had my COOs and company be stateside, especially if you have a mostly stateside team. You can get away with both, but that's really the second, I would say, mandatory stateside hire. So that leaves us with an admin overseas, a TC possibly overseas, a boots on the ground in country. That's 1 in country hire, marketing delegated, sales mostly overseas, and operations probably stateside. But you guys, trust me, if you build this the right way, you will never have to worry about your overhead. Your profit will always be there. If you're new to my channel, you want actionable videos like this to start increasing your deal flow and make more money in your real estate business, hit the subscribe button. They're coming weekly. If you haven't checked out the off-market method community yet, it's incredible. It's one of the top in the world, 600 people and strong and growing, hundreds of hours of training material, weekly live calls, and much, much more. And if you want to work with myself and my team one-on-one, you can check out Easy Button Real Estate below as well. Until next time, as always, you're only 1 deal away.